headlines for this hour on VTV News. Spring Festival kicks off in Hanoi. And 2 beaches in Vietnam earned spots in the top 10 Asian beaches. In a war news, UN holds special session on Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. On Saturday morning, the Spring Festival took place at the Vietnamese Ethnic Culture and Tourism Village, with celebrations occurring at regions across the country. State President Võ Văn Thưởng attended the event, experiencing the vibrant and colorful cultural diversity of various ethnic groups that make up the great family of Vietnamese peoples. The state president stated that the vitality of traditional nations' cultural values could foster the development of the cultural industry and tourism. He emphasized that the wealth and richness of cultural resources could increase economic development opportunities, generating prosperity for each country. He also mentioned that cultural diversity is a path to attracting tourists and friends worldwide. Concluding his speech, the state president expressed his hope for future initiative and creative ways to foster a cultural exchange environment among Vietnam's ethnic groups. In the first quarter, there was a significant increase in export orders for consumer goods and wooden furniture. Revenue is projected to rise by 10 to 30% compared to the same period last year. Notably, some textiles and garment businesses received orders for the first 6 months of the year or even for the entire year. Food businesses also experienced double-digit growth in the number of export orders. According to the Ho Chi Minh City Handicraft and Wood Processing Association, wood and wood products export earned nearly $1.5 billion in January 2024. This is an increase of over 70% compared to the same period last year. With this surge, wood export could potentially reach $17 billion this year. In January of this year, Vietnam's coffee export reached 210,000 tons. This is an increase of 48% in volume and nearly 100% in value compared to the same period in 2023. Between now and May, Vietnam will continue to be the main coffee supplier on the global market. Given the high global demand and limited supply, coffee prices are expected to remain high.
This business purchases coffee from farmers at prices ranging from $3.45 to $3.65 per kilogram. Compared to the end of 2023, this price represents an increase of about 20%. It has also doubled compared to the same period last year.
Regarding coffee crops, they are scarce due to crop failure. The supply from farmers is not substantial, and it is expected that the supply will continue to be insufficient this year, leading to high prices.
Coffee prices in the Central Highlands have peaked due to a significant rise in Robusta coffee prices on the London market. Specifically, coffee for March delivery increased to over $3,300 per ton.
Coffee prices have doubled, but now it's up $3,400 per ton. This is a great benefit for farmers.
Notably, only Vietnam is currently harvesting Robusta coffee. Coffee from other countries, such as Indonesia and Brazil, won't be harvested until April to July 2024.
At least for the next 5 years, coffee prices will be very high due to high demand and lower production. This is good news for Vietnamese coffee growers.
The quantity and quality of Vietnam's Robusta have improved. Maintaining this high price is beneficial for sustainable development.
The Vietnam Coffee and Cocoa Association predicts that Vietnam's coffee exports will drop to approximately 1.4 million tons for the 2023/2024 crop. However, with coffee prices on the rise, export turnover may set a new record, potentially reaching a total of 4.5 to 5 billion USD.
Today marked the full moon of January in the lunar calendar. Goods in Hanoi's market are plentiful and prices are stable on this occasion. Survey conducted at Nang Bay Market in Hoan Kiem District, Home Đức Viên Market in Hai Bà Trưng District, and Gia Thụy Market in Long Biên District indicate an increase in purchasing power, yet prices remain stable or even lower than usual. The price of vegetable, commonly used for full moon festival offerings, has dropped about 1/3 from Lunar New Year prices. Meat and seafood prices has not risen. Notably, fresh flowers, which saw the most significant price drop compared to Tết holiday, are more affordable. However, fruit prices have seen a slight increase compared to regular days. Digitizing tax management and developing information technology applications are key tasks being implemented by the tax industry nationwide. Experts consider this beneficial for both taxpayers and management agencies.
Hang and her husband run a pork selling business. They now pay taxes electronically through the tax mobile application, a shift from their previous method of going to the bank.
Before, I had to go to the bank to pay taxes, which took a lot of time. Now, using the tax mobile app, it's so convenient.
Upon the introduction of a new tax policy, this business receives an immediate email notification from the tax authority. The Hanoi Tax Department organizes several online tax dialogues each year, where taxpayers can submit their questions to be answered.
Now, we can ask questions and receive immediate responses. The Hanoi Tax Department and the tax industry created many favorable conditions for us, reducing travel time.
Digitization improves personal income tax management. Previously, tax debt notification mails were frequently returned due to incorrect recipient details or addresses. However, the standardization of taxpayer information has occurred since the Prime Minister's Decision No. 6 on the use of population data for national digital transformation. Consequently, many taxpayers now receive notices via email.
With such a large number of taxpayers to manage, using the manual exchange method would lead to a waste of time, human resources, and costs. Recently, the Tax Department implemented Decision 06 to review tax code identification information. Consequently, the proportion of people registering for electronic transactions has increased significantly.
A representative of the Hanoi Tax Department stated that the department currently manages 10 million personal income tax codes. Of these, nearly 80% account for small tax debts under 1 million VND.
In 2024, businesses are predicted to require over 1 million workers, mainly in three areas: services 56%, industry construction 37%, and agriculture, fishery, aquaculture production 7%. The service sector will see high demand in trade, wholesales, retail, transportation, warehousing, port services, maritime logistics, and tourism. In the construction industries, fields such as textiles, footwear, mechanic, electricity, electronics, and information technology will require significant recruitment. Fishermen in Hoa Nhơn Town, Ninh Binh Province, caught a large amount of ocean tuna on their first trip of the year. The local fishermen are excited that this bounty has brought them significant income. More to follow.
Recently, Tam Quan fishing port in Hoa Nhơn Town, Ninh Binh Province, has been filled with fishing boats docking to sell seafood. Most of these boats have just returned from a tuna fishing trip over the Tết holiday. With a significant catch of tuna, many boat owners and fishermen are thrilled.
The recent trip was successful, bringing significant income to our family, so we are very happy.
In Hoa Nhơn Town, there are 1,000 fishing boats with over 6,000 workers who continue to fish throughout the Tết holiday at sea. Currently, these boats are returning to sell their ocean tuna. Given the large number of fishing boats docking, the Fishing Port and Urban Services Management Board of Hoa Nhơn Town has mobilized maximum efforts to carry out its mission.
All fishing boats and local authorities met at the beginning of the year to discuss fishing laws. This helps them avoid IUU fishing violations during fishing trips.
Statistics show that the output from ocean tuna exploitation has surpassed 1,700 tons since the beginning of this year. This is an increase of over 360 tons compared to the same period last year.
Coming up next on VTV News, 2 beaches in Vietnam earn spot in top 10 Asian beaches. And Vietnam Poetry Day launches in Hanoi. At present, drought and saltwater intrusion have extended tens of kilometers into the river mouth of the Mekong Delta. In Binh Province, salinity levels ranging from 2 to 5 parts per thousand appeared throughout the province. Even tap water has turned saline. Nevertheless, proactive responses and efforts to store fresh water have minimized the adverse effects of salinity on people's livelihoods.
This is the 8th year Lan's family has stored fresh water to serve their daily needs in the dry season. This habit was formed after the historic drought 8 years ago. With 3 plastic tanks and 4 cement tanks storing more than 100 cubic meters of fresh water, her family can live through the drought and saltwater intrusion season.
I invested money in building permanent water tanks to use them forever.
From mid-2023 onward, the People's Committee of Binh Province has implemented measures to address drought and saltwater intrusion. These include promoting rainwater storage by residents, upgrading and expanding the capacity of clean water treatment facilities, and devising plans to ensure a steady supply of fresh water to local people.
The company is installing pump boats at the Ton Tru temporary dam to minimize water salinity levels. We can pump and store water for the entire Chau Ton district, ensuring a stable water supply for approximately 100,000 households.
Apart from the initiatives led by authorities at various levels in Binh Province, projects aimed at combating saltwater intrusion and preserving freshwater resources have been proven successful. The Binh Water Project includes the construction of 2 ports, Binh Rơ and Tân Phú.
Major projects in the province have been completed, such as Ben Ro and Tan Phu sewers, alongside numerous smaller sewer projects. These developments have facilitated water provision for production activities in Ben Tre City and surrounding districts.
According to the Center for Clean Water and Rural Environmental Sanitation in Binh Province, approximately 40% of the 60 water plants in the region have salinity levels ranging from 1 to 3 parts per thousand. This positive outcome is attributed to the proactive measures taken by the community and local authorities.
After the Lunar New Year holiday, many localities have grappled with an excess of waste, particularly marine debris. However, Nha Trang Bay consistently maintains its clean and green image due to special ships that transport trash from the island to the shore.
Less than 2 kilometers from the mainland, Chinh Nguyen Island attracts a multitude of tourists eager to experience the life of coastal village residents near the famous tourist city of Nha Trang. The environmental services workers arrive early, diligently collecting and picking up trash.
I work every day from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sometimes, I work through lunchtime. Most of the waste here is liquid waste, so it's quite heavy.
The environmental services workers are responsible for collecting household waste on Chinh Nguyen Island and around the wharf. They have been like family to the residents for years.
We gather trash into bags and tie them up.
2 to 3 ships bring baggage ashore. When combined, the daily waste transported from the 5 islands of Nha Trang Bay to the mainland amounts to tens of tons.
My job depends on the weather and water levels. When it's sunny and the water level is low, I must slow down the boat, thus slowing down the trash collection process.
Trash collection activities have significantly improved the living conditions on the island. As a result, Nha Trang has been attracting more tourists to visit and experience the beautiful bay and islands.
Two beaches in Vietnam, An Bang Beach in Quảng Nam Province and Mỹ Khê Beach in Da Nang, have just been ranked among the top 10 beaches in Asia. This ranking was announced by TripAdvisor, a leading online travel platform, as part of their Traveler's Choice Award Best of the Best. This prestigious award, which honors the top destination voted for by the community over the past 12 months, has been given to less than 1% of the 8 million destinations on TripAdvisor. The top 10 beaches in Asia also include stunning beaches from Indonesia, Thailand, South Korea, India, and Sri Lanka. According to Google Year-End Search Report, Vietnam was the most searched travel destinations by Indians in 2023. Notably, Vietnam surpassed popular destinations traditionally visited by Indian tourists, such as Goa, India, Bali, Indonesia, and other renowned locations in Thailand. Vietnam is not only attracting tourists for short tours or small group travel, but is also seeing a surge in Indian MICE visitors attending meetings, conferences, or organizing weddings. More to follow.
Vietnam has become an increasingly attractive destination for Indian tourists as it offers diverse experiences.
There's a lot of things to enjoy here. You can enjoy Da Nang, you can enjoy Bara Hills, you can go to the Ho Chi Minh, Hanoi. The Vietnamese food is among very famous in Indian people. Enjoy the food, the culture, and most important, shopping. Branded shopping is more cheaper than India, and here's the variety is more variety.
Many people they are coming here in a group like 40 people, 100 people, 80 people. They are coming. There is a buzzword. Where you are going to Vietnam. So nobody talk about the other countries, but they talk about the Vietnam.
This company has reported a tenfold increase in the number of Indian tourists visiting Vietnam. The number has risen from 500 visitors per year before the pandemic to 5,000 visitors last year. This surge is due to the introduction of several new direct flights, affordable costs, and convenient e-visa procedures.
Travel costs in Vietnam are very competitive compared to other countries in the region, and even compared to India itself. They could be approximately 30% lower. The surge is also due to the flexibility of all units in accommodating Indian tourists. For example, restaurants and five-star hotels are currently preparing Indian food for tourists with special requests.
This business is preparing to host a delegation of approximately 1,500 Indian MICE meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibition visitors in Ho Chi Minh City this September. Additionally, it is coordinating 3 Indian weddings in Ha Long, with guest counts ranging from 400 to 800 people.
To have his daughter's wedding in a 7 natural wonders, that's something proud in the Indian family. Vietnam can accommodate for all kind of tourists, whether it's luxury or 3-star kind of clients. Da Nang, every week, every month, they come up with the plans for MICE. The second would be Ho Chi Minh City.
Vietnam is competing with Thailand to become a MICE tourism destination. It has been suggested that Vietnam should boost its tourism promotion and develop infrastructure catering to tourist-specific needs, including religious beliefs. Additionally, expanding hotel infrastructure, generating significant revenues, and adopting preferential policies for MICE tourism could enhance Vietnam's appeal to India, a substantial market with a population of 1.4 billion.
Vietnam 22nd Poetry Day celebration took place at the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel from February 23rd to 24th. Despite the unfavorable weather on Saturday morning, a large number of literature enthusiasts attended the event. This year's theme, National Harmony, highlighted the contributions of various ethnic groups across Vietnam to the country's poetry. The highlights of the event, a poetry night on February 24th, kicked off with the gong performance by the Mường ethnic group from the northern province of Hòa Bình. This was followed by poetry radicals and performances featuring works from 16 domestic and international poets. Additionally, the event included performances of poetic stories and epics by the Tày, Mường, and Thai ethnic groups. The Chen Temple seal opening ceremony took place on Friday night, the 14th night of the ninth lunar month in the Ninh Binh Province. The rituals, including the incense offering, processions, and seal opening, were performed with the aim of praying for the happiness of the people, the peace and prosperity of the nation, and to honor the Chen dynasty. With this dynasty, which ruled from 1225 to 1400, is remembered as a significant period in the nation's history. These rituals also serve to educate the traditions of acknowledging one's root to maintain security and order at the festival. More than 2,000 police officers and soldiers were deployed. The event is anticipated to attract around 170,000 visitors this year. Coming up next in our World News, UN holds special sessions on Russia-Ukraine conflict. And NATO begins largest military exercise since the Cold War. On Friday, the United Nations Security Council held a special session to discuss the Russia-Ukraine conflict. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed his deep concern about the risk of an escalating and widespread conflict. He emphasized that all international disputes should be resolved peacefully, in accordance with the UN Charter. Earlier in the day, the United Nations General Assembly also held a special session on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. All countries present at the meeting expressed their concerns about the damage caused by the 2 years of conflict, which has severely affected food security and energy prices on a global scale. Nearly 100,000 military personnel from Europe and the United States are participating in NATO's largest exercise since the end of the Cold War, Exercise Steadfast Defender 2024. The exercise, which runs from January 1st to May 31st, 2024, aims to reinforce the defense of NATO allies. It will involve over 90,000 troops, 1,100 combat vehicles, and 50 ships, demonstrating the alliance's ability to move forces from North America across the Atlantic. China Ministry of Education recently released a list of 184 primary and secondary schools' artificial intelligence education bases nationwide. The goal is to systematically advance AI education across the country. To enhance the scientific competence of primary and secondary schools teachers, China plans to conduct additional training sessions. According to authorities, these training sessions, which began in mid-July 2023, have already seen participation from over 3,500 teaching staff and science counselors in primary and secondary schools. Reusing clothes is an effective method to reduce waste. In Japan, the number of used clothing stores is increasing. This practice has not only helped people save money during challenging economic times, but also contributes to resource conservation and minimizes fashion waste. More to follow.
Uniqlo opened a second-hand clothing store in the trendy Harajuku district of Tokyo for 10 days. There, used clothes were sold at a third of their original price, and some were dyed for a vintage look.
Customers who visit us often express that wearing clothes for a long time is beneficial. Thus, the concept of sustainability, the practice of wearing clothes for as long as possible without discarding them, is gaining popularity in Japan.
This indicates a shift in attitudes. The Japanese Ministry of Environment reports that 34% of discarded clothes are recycled or reused, including those exported to developing countries. Market research company, Japan Consuming, estimates that despite recent strong growth, Japan's second-hand segment still represents less than 6% of the $75 billion fashion USD market. Online sales of used clothing have also increased prices following years of deflation, which have impacted Japanese wallets since 2022, have helped customers overcome their bias against second-hand clothes. However, for many, the most significant factor is simply the condition of the used items.
I'm interested in the sustainability aspect. I am aware that it's better to consume in this way rather than discarding used clothes. However, I often buy clothes simply because they're trendy.
Historically, Japanese consumers were hesitant to buy used clothes due to hygiene concerns. However, it appears these reservations have been overcome. The used clothing industry in Japan is flourishing, expanding by 40% annually and generating over $4 billion in sales.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.